One of the things that I think is interesting about the whole way that the NFL draft is set up right now, and you heard us talking about the number 3 pick, and I'm going to talk about the odds markets a little bit in the start of the second hour as it pertains to what the San Francisco 49ers are going to do. But the team that is out there, I would say, on the periphery, contemplating jumping up into the draft, potentially to go get Justin Fields, maybe to go get Trey Lance, it feels like the Denver Broncos. And the reason why the Denver Broncos are in this situation is because they have drafted a lot of guys that have not panned out in the first and the second round in the past several years as they have tried to replace John Elway. And a lot of the time, we overlook the number of quarterbacks the Denver Broncos have had because of the success they had getting Peyton Manning to come play for them for 4 years. Go to 2 Super Bowls, win one of them. John Elway has been a great quarterback recruiter as it pertains to Peyton Manning. He has not been a very good evaluator of talent as it pertains to who to draft. And if you wonder how difficult it is to project NFL quarterbacks going forward, the fact that some of the best NFL quarterbacks of all time, a guy like John Elway, can't even identify who is going to be the next great quarterback of the Denver Broncos from college participation and performance, that's just how difficult it is. And so we talked a little bit about this on the Monday edition of Fox Bet Live, but I went back and I looked and I said, how many quarterbacks have the Broncos drafted in the first 2 rounds since John Elway retired? And really this started in 2006 when the Broncos went and drafted Jay Cutler, and looking at how those guys have done as starters and sometimes how few games they've even actually played, all right? So Jay Cutler, first-round pick in 2006. Now, to be fair to Jay Cutler, he actually is probably the most successful quarterback of the trio that went early in that 2006 draft. Vince Young was the first quarterback taken. Matt Leinart was the second quarterback taken. Jay Cutler was the third quarterback taken, and Cutler had a long career in the NFL. Cutler went 17-20 as a starting quarterback for the Denver Broncos before he was shipped out to the Chicago Bears. Okay? So Cutler in 2006. The Bears follow up Cutler in 2006 with Tim Tebow in 2010, and Tebow goes 8-6. Remember Tebow Mania? It's pretty wild to realize that Tebow only started 14 NFL games in his career for the Denver Broncos. I think a lot of you out there are like, really? Because you remember all of the attention that Tebow got when he came in, won a playoff game. One of those games that he started was the Denver Broncos beating the Pittsburgh Steelers at home in overtime. Demaryius Thomas caught the pass from Tim Tebow and housed it. Remember all the different comebacks. I mean, there was full-on Tebow mania in 2010. Tim Tebow went 8-6. And you'll remember the real way that they were able to kind of end Tebow mania was by bringing in Peyton Manning. Because that was the way that John Elway moved on from Tim Tebow, was by having Peyton Manning to bring in as sort of the default guy. And so Tebow was a first-round pick. Cutler was a first-round pick. Brock Osweiler, I believe, second-round pick. And then Osweiler kind of cooled his heels, played some in that final year when the Broncos went and won the Super Bowl while Peyton Manning wasn't healthy. Only went 5-6 in his career. And then remember, the Texans came in and wooed him away and signed him to a big contract. And that was kind of one of the moves that Bill O'Brien made that sort of set the table for Bill O'Brien not to be the guy long range with the Houston Texans. But Brock Osweiler is the second round pick. He goes 5-6. And then just a total whiff on Paxton Lynch, who would only play 4 games as the starting quarterback for the Denver Broncos, going just 1-3 in those 4 games as I believe, Dub, you can confirm this, Paxton Lynch, late first-round guy, if I'm not mistaken, and then Drew Lock, early second-round pick for the Denver Broncos, 8-10 in starting quarterback position over 2 years so far. That is where the Denver Broncos are sitting right now with Drew Lock 8-10. So that's 5 different guys that the Broncos have taken in the first or second round. Paxton Lynch, by the way, went number 26 overall for the Denver Broncos. Only started 4 games, only won 1. A lot of people forget about Paxton Lynch, but that's a lot of futility, right? Jay Cutler, by far the most successful there, but only Tim Tebow had a winning record as a starter at the quarterback position for the Denver Broncos. So, as we project this forward, I think it is an interesting question. Could, right now, the Denver Broncos be of the opinion that if Justin Fields is there, they're willing to pay whatever price they need in order to get him up there to be their starting quarterback going forward? Or is there still enough belief on some level in Drew Lock that maybe they can help get him fixed as they move into 2021? I think this storyline as to what the Broncos are going to do at quarterback is one of the most intriguing in the entirety of the NFL draft, because they could be trying to move up to the Atlanta Falcons spot at number 4. Would the Falcons trade? And more importantly, how is what the 49ers could do at number 3 going to impact all of the decision-making from a team like the Denver Broncos?